Welcome back once again, wonderful pupils of Practical Computer Comprehensive School. Is your auntie, Miss Genevieve Onyekwere, and this time we are looking at another tutorial. As it is stated right here, right now, they say that you're learning object. Before we look at comparing two or more things, let's look at the words we use to compare things. These are called the different forms of adverb. Before we look at the forms of adverb, let's remind ourselves the meaning of adverb. We know that adverb originated from the word verb, an action. Yes, an action. Something you do, something you're doing, or something you've done. Yes. So now when we talk about adverb, adverb is that word we use to tell how, when, or why someone did something. In other words, it tells us more about an action. Yes, he killed a snake. How did he kill the snake? He killed the snake brutally. The adverb, the word brutally, is the word adverb. Do you understand? Good. Yes, she poured the water away. When did she pour the water away? She poured it away last night. Do you understand? That word or that phrase that tells us more about an action is called what? An adverb. Let's quickly look at the different forms of adverb, which are called the positive, the comparative, and the superlative forms. So let's look at number one. We have quickly. Quickly. He ran home. How did he run home? He ran home quickly. More quickly. More quickly. Most quickly. Yes, most quickly. Next we have silently. We have on comparative form more silently, superlative form most silently. Next we have slowly. On the comparative form we have more slowly. On the superlative form we have most slowly. Then we read so far, we get to clever, more clever, most clever. Tall, more tall, most tall. This quantifies, this weighs, this shows the degree of which one particular object or person is more than the other person with which you're using to compare him, her, or it. The degree with which the first one is higher than the second one. When you're comparing two things together, when you're comparing three things, the superlative comes in. Yes, you'll be like, let's take for instance, Ada is tall, but Eze is more tall. Okay, looks more tall than Ada. Ada looks tall. Eze looks more tall than Ada. You'll be like, why didn't we use taller? Yes, I will explain better when we look at more. What we have on our next slide, which brings it or breaks it down better to your understanding. So just keep viewing. At this aspect, we're looking at using comparative adverbs in sentences. Yes, when we use them in sentences, we find out or figure out why we use them or why we don't use the other one, which sounds more obvious, more related, more used with or used to, then why we use these ones that kind of sound odd. You know, when you speak in English, you might be saying the right thing, but it sounds somehow wrong, or someone might speak correctly to you and you'll be like, that didn't sink in well, but you don't know that the person is actually making a perfect tense. So just keep viewing so we understand and know how to make use of comparative adverbs in sentences. Now look at this. A rat runs quickly, but a fox runs more quickly than it. We are using quickly, runs quickly, and this one more quickly here. You'll be like, why didn't we say a rat runs quick, but a fox runs more quickly? Why didn't we just use quick here? So now, why we're using quickly here is to do what? To describe. We're using this to describe how a rat runs. How a rat runs. This is something they do on and on. So we're not describing a particular race that they did. We're describing their nature. So now their nature pertaining to the action they do, they perform. So now a rat runs quickly, but a fox runs more quickly than it. Let's look at example number 2. It says, Nneka is taller than Nneoma, but Gift is the tallest of them all. This is a common comparative word we use. Yes, the common one. But this doesn't suit in as an adverb, a comparative adverb perfectly when you are using it to compare the action. I purposely put this in here now to make you understand better why we're using this one that sounds somehow not familiar to this one that sounds more familiar. When we use this one, we are trying to compare the features of a noun. The features of a noun. Do you understand? Comparing the features. When I talk about the features, I'm talking about that thing a noun possesses. Now this one now comes in as an adjective, which tells us more about a noun. We have the comparative adjective and we have the comparative adverbs. When we're using quickly, more quickly, most quickly, we are comparing based on what they are doing, what something or someone is doing. But when we use these ones, you're seeing on your screen right now, I'm pointing out, we are comparing those things, the natural things something or someone possesses. Let's look at more examples to understand better. Mary comes early to school every day, but she came earlier today than yesterday. Mary comes early to school every day, but she came earlier today than yesterday. A train runs faster than a car, but an aeroplane is the fastest of them all. A tortoise moves slowly, but snail moves more slowly than tortoise. Do you understand? Does this sink in? So let me give you a run through of how these sentences go. Is how we have number 1, a rat runs quickly, but a fox runs more quickly than it. You can't say a fox runs more quicklier or quicklier than it. No, we're using adverb to quantify how fast, to qualify how fast the rat runs. And now we're using this one to compare how fast the fox runs than the rat. Do you get it? We are comparing the rat and the fox on a race. So that's where we apply quickly and more quickly. More quickly is for the one that is higher, that has a higher degree above the other, with which you're using to compare it. You don't say a rat runs quickly, but a fox, you say a rat runs more quickly than a fox. It's not true. It's not true. We all know that a rat, yes, it runs quickly, it's acceptable, but a fox runs more quickly than it. And let's look at the next one. A tortoise moves slowly. Now if you see example number 1 and example number 5, you will understand what I'm trying to tell you. In example number 1, that which has the lowest degree, the lowest in calculating how fast each of these animals move. In other words, we can say a rat moves or runs slowly or runs slower than a fox. And here we say, in other words, a tortoise moves faster than a snail. Do you get it? So now they both changed position. Here we have the one that runs quickly or more quickly than the other at the end as the subject matter, and we have that moves more slowly than the other as the subject matter. So right now you understand this. You have listed comparative adverbs in your class activity section, waiting for you to use them in making good and complete perfect sentences. And you also have tabular forms aligned, and for you to fix in the comparative or positive or superlative forms of each of the given adverbs. Have a nice day, stay safe, stay educated, and always learn to do your assignment. See you in another tutorial video. Bye for now.